I'm Ralph Rio with ARC Advisory Group, and we're talking today with Joseph Nokku of Kyndryl. Kyndryl is a major systems integrator offering services. It's a spinoff from IBM. IBM spun off in November, so they have something like 90,000 employees, substantial revenue, and very viable business. Joseph, could you introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Joseph Nokku. I'm a partner with Kyndryl. I've been with the industry. I've been at the industry for the last 30 years. Most of my clients were Fortune 30 companies, and my experience spans across manufacturing, chemicals, petroleum, automotive, semiconductor, mining, even airlines.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's me.
So could you talk a little bit about the industries served by Kyndryl, so we get an understanding of the broad portfolio you offer?
Yeah, Kyndryl, we are the infrastructure services provider for almost Fortune 70 companies, and the big ones I'm talking about. And we serve in every industry. When I say every industry, the majors are really manufacturing. Within manufacturing, you have chemicals, petroleum, upstream and downstream, and utilities and financial services, automotive, all these. We have clients in every retail as well. And we also work with the communication guys, all the telecom guys as well. So we really support the major world's pretty much network.
And could you talk a little bit about the types of services you provide? Is it, I imagine some of it is typical IT stuff, but
Right.
My understanding is you get into implementing certain types of and supporting certain types of applications. That may be a little narrow perspective. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about the types of services.
So as a Kyndryl, as a company, a startup for 5 months old or 6 months old right now, we are organized into 6 practices. So we have advisory services with the C-level, which is mostly our consultants. And we have practices that address apps, data, and AI. That's one of our practice. We have a practice that talks about cloud, which includes alliances and partnerships with all the hyperscalers. And we have a Z Cloud as well, which our heritage comes from IBM. And we do have digital workplace services. And recently Gartner named us as #1 in the Magic Quadrant. And we have services in project services that we do. And our biggest one is networking and edge. That's where we do a lot of work and platforms. So it's now coming back to the typical type of stuff that we do, like we manage ERPs, SAP in the cloud or Oracle in the cloud or on-prem, off-prem, hybrid. So a lot of people don't know that we do that. And there's significant revenue in that space. And now we manage all networks, both IT and OT as well. When I say OT, I mean to say until the edge. We provide, working with telecom vendors, the wide area networks. We transform companies, help them transform to really get into the digital journey, like helping them to make new technologies, SD-WAN, SD-LAN, whatever helps them to really jumpstart their digitization. Then in the apps, not apps place, what is the one? Digital workplace services, from cradle to grave. Okay.
Excellent.
We do everything from cradle to grave. Somebody gets a laptop, an iPod, or iPhone. We do all the procurement and we do all the services, the whole digital experience. We provide clients, and this is one of the. And also we destruct the the product once its life cycle is over. And so we do everything in that space.
Wow, broad portfolio.
Broad portfolio. So
now I imagine you could talk for a half an hour about.
Oh, I can. In the new world, because this is a manufacturing conference, I can say we are enabling one of the biggest process manufacturing company. We're lighting up all their plants. These are like cities we are lighting up. using
Wow.
the latest LTE and 5G technologies.
Oh,
That is jump-starting their digital journeys, enabling them to use connectivity. And we are working with data and AI as a platform for collect data, and the data scientists can go play with the data. So how do you bring data silos together,
okay.
right? So we are enabling these type of platforms for our manufacturing clients.
Now, here at the ARC Forum, Industry 4.0, digital transformation are big themes. Could you talk a little bit about what Kyndryl does in that area?
Sure, yeah. So I'll use a use case probably that helps us to really understand. This is one we have been doing for the last 2 years, and I was involved in that whole thing. So one day I was talking to the client, and he said, like, "Hey, we have this program. The board has approved for digital manufacturing. We need to go start doing stuff." Then you look at the plants, and most of the manufacturing comes there either through acquisitions. There's a lot of technical debt, and you want to touch a plant, then there's a lot of money needs to be invested. So they came back with, and the backbone for everything, for any digital man, is connectivity. You need to have connectivity at the speed of light almost, because it has to be fast. And these are like, what do you call, chemical companies, and safety is huge. You have to. So what we did is we basically looked at different technologies. We looked at partners, telecom partners, and eventually, as Kyndryl, we actually developed the solution for them, working with our another alliance partner, and we built it bottoms up.
Wow.
Yeah, bottoms up. We started enabling connecting the what do you call, plants through private LTE, which is 100% secure.
Wow.
Secure by design.
Nice.
Yeah. Then we started giving them another layer of security for new applications that are developed in containers or microservices. We developed that working with one of the top security providers, and that has jump-started the whole journey. And in this journey, they started using technologies like Realware, Microsoft Teams. They can collaborate with remote engineers.
Okay.
There is an issue in the cracker, but the cracker was bought from some company in Germany. They can see what, and the engineers there can help them. And all this, and COVID actually helped this whole stuff to accelerate this whole journey. So we have been doing this stuff. Now we are helping them to look at how data can be data platforms, how we can now bring all the data together in a silo on the premise. And you can use, like, there's a lot of technology out there, AI and ML stuff. We can have it on-prem and off-prem. So we are now collaborating with a lot of partners to bring that. So as Kyndryl, we have the liberty to bring anybody in the ecosystem to work with us.
Thank you very much. This is an enlightening discussion of your broad portfolio.
Yeah, I'll also share some lessons, right? This is a journey, so it's not perfect world. So then we started looking at devices that needs to run in the hazardous environments. They have to be certified, right? Now we have to work with different vendors to figure out, and even big companies like, to bring their iPhone or iPads and have them certified to. That is a journey that we are going through right now, and developing the next generation platforms for clients to use. And there is a kind of, like, if you really look at manufacturing, we do provide architecture services. I mean, so we did work with the manufacturing engineers, architects, and the IT side of the architects. We bridged that gap between IT and OT, and we brought all the architectural services to the table. So if you look at the ISA 95 model, the Purdue model, it's logged till. So now, with all these new technologies, we need to get data out of the sensors or whatever instrumentation is happening at below level 3, right? So now we are working with these architects to really figure out a new model to extract data and still secure by design. So that's where we are spending on this in this use case, and we manage all of our services are available to this client. We manage all their infrastructure, we manage all their networking, and we manage all their workstations.
Very enlightening. Thank you for this discussion. We've been talking with Joseph Nokku of Kyndryl. Thank you for listening.